So the first thing is to decide how big you want the face that you draw and to decide where you want to place it on your sheet of paper. I want the top of my head about 2 centimeters, almost 1 inch from the top. And now I want to draw a horizontal line here, and let's call it the A line. Now let's draw one more horizontal line here to determine the position of the bottom of the chin, and let's call it B line. The next thing is to draw the horizontal line exactly in the middle, between the A and B lines. And to do that, take a measure between the A and B lines. It's 19 centimeters and a half in my case, or 7.5 inches, which means that I have to mark 9 centimeters and 7 millimeters from the top. And now do the same on the left side. Now we can connect these two mark points. And let's call this line the C line. So the pupils will be placed exactly over the C line. And now we already know where to draw the eyes. And now we have to determine the width of the face. And take this measure between the A and C lines. In my case, it's about 9 centimeters and 7 millimeters, almost 4 inches. And just add 1/3 of this measure to this measure, so it will be about 12 centimeters. And now let's mark this measure of 12 centimeters somewhere in the middle of this C line. And just draw 2 vertical lines. Like this. These lines don't have to be strictly parallel to the edge of the paper and to each other. And let's name them D lines. Okay, now we can draw the outline of the head. So let's start here at the top, going over the horizontal A line a bit, like this, a few centimeters. And then we have to start curving the line downwards. And now we have to connect this line to the point between the D and C lines. I just want to make this part of the head a bit out of the frame, like this. And now let's draw a dashed line to see whether it will connect. And now we can draw the full line over the dashed line. Now let's do the same on the right side. So this is actually the outline of the skull and not the outline of the haircut. So this outline is actually not too important. You don't have to worry about this too much because we're going to draw the hair over the outline. But we still need some sketch to serve as a guide line. Now we can move to the lower half of the frame. Let's start here on the ends of our outline over the C line and just go downwards, creating a slightly curved line. And now let's do the same on the right side. As you draw downwards, just make it farther and farther from the frame. I mean deeper. Here at the bottom of the chin, also follow the B line a bit horizontally, like this, and then start curving it upwards. and create a dashed line to see where it will end, whether the ends will connect. Okay, now I can go over with a full line. And let's do the same on the left side. You don't have to make both sides absolutely symmetric, because some imperfections will make the drawing even more natural. Now let's draw the line between the hair and the skin of the forehead. Here also draw a bit horizontally and then start to curve the line and draw it towards the cross point between the D and the C lines. You can see I'm drawing this line 2 centimeters from the top. It's like 3/4 of an inch. Probably we are going to cover this outline, but we need it for measuring the position of the facial features. Okay, so the next thing to do is to divide this horizontal height of the face, starting from the top of the forehead, not the head, to the bottom of the chin, into 3 equal parts. As you can see, I have 17.5 centimeters height, so I have to measure quite above the 5.8 centimeters. If you measure in inches, just divide the height that you get by 3. And now using the same measure, just mark here the second third, between the second and third third. And now let's just create dashed horizontal lines here over the marked points. And also let's create here at the top of the forehead. And let's call it M1, and this one can be M2. And this M2 line is found right above the eyebrows. Let's draw the dashed line over this mark point, so this line will determine the bottom of the nose, and let's call it M3, and this can be M4, which is the same as B line. Now we can outline the ears. So the top line of the ears is M2 and the bottom line is M3. And you have to draw the ears in this space. Of course, it's not in every case the same. You can draw bigger or smaller ears, closer or further from the face. And the top of the ear can also be of any shape. Just draw it a bit further from the face than the lower area of the ear, which should be closer to the face. I will actually draw the hair over the ears, but I just want to show you where you have to place if you want to draw the ears to And I will also show you how to shade the ears. Okay, now we can draw the eyes. And to determine their position, we have to divide the C line into 5 equal parts. And we have to measure the ears too. Here you can see my C line is about 15 centimeters long. So I have to make one area 3 centimeters wide. Of course, it doesn't have to be exactly 3 centimeters, but approximately. You can see that I'm marking the C line at 3, 6, 9, and 12. And I'm getting 5 equal parts this way. And now you can draw dashed vertical lines over the marked dots over the C line like this. Okay, like this. So we have to draw the left eye in the second section and the right eye in the fourth section. I'm starting here with the left eye, with the pupil, and I draw it exactly over the C line and exactly in the middle of this section. And now I just want to draw one more circle around this, which will represent the iris boundary. And the upper part will be overlapped with the upper eyelid. That's why I'm cutting this circle here. And I draw almost a straight line here. And the outer corners should be placed right over the C line. But inner corners where the tear duct is found, it can be a bit under C line. Like this. And now let's draw the eyelid fold. Just draw a curvy line parallel to the upper eyelid. And now let's create light reflection wherever you want over the iris or pupil. I want to mark 2 dots, one here in the upper right area of the iris and one here in the lower left area of the iris. Now let's draw the right eye. Draw the pupil here in the middle of this section over the C line and just create one more bigger circle around it for the iris boundary. And same here, tear duct a bit under the C line and just outline the lower and the upper eyelids like this. And same here, draw the eyelid fold parallel to the upper eyelid. So wherever you draw these light reflections, just make sure to draw the same on both eyes. And now let's draw the eyebrows. So the eyebrows should fit under the M2 line, but I want to draw female eyebrows that peak higher. I just want to mark the inner ends here above the tear duct. can see that arched part is over the M2 line. I recommend creating the dashed lines when outlining the eyebrows so that you can easily change the position of the outlines if you want. The eyebrows are usually thicker next to the nose and thinner next to the temple. So you just make them thinner and thinner as you draw them towards the ears. Okay, it's time for the nose. The bottom of the nose should be placed over the M3 line, but the tip can reach a little bit under this line. And the sides of the nostrils should be placed right under the tear duct to fit in the mid area of those 5 equal parts that we divided with vertical dashed lines. And now let's outline the nostrils. So these 2 dashed lines can help you to place the nose within this area. And I'm just outlining the bridge with a dashed line. The nose actually contains shades mostly, so we just have to sketch this lower area of the nose. And now let's determine the position of the lips. The corners of the lips should be placed under the pupils or under the inner iris boundary. I mean in the same vertical line. You can create any shape of the lips, so anything can work. Because there are many kinds of lips. And you can draw fuller or smaller lips. I want to draw a bit of the teeth, so that you can see how to draw the teeth. And the lower lip should be placed exactly in the middle between the bottom of the nose and chin. And now you can either erase this frame and guide lines, or you can trace your sketch on another piece of paper. I recommend transferring the outlines on the new piece of paper that you haven't touched with your fingers, that you haven't erased anything, because after shading with graphite it will be visible. So, and always place your hand or on a piece of tissue or a separate piece of paper. So avoid touching the paper with your skin. I have transferred my sketch on a new piece of paper and I just want to add some details. Now the sketch is not exactly the same, but it's okay, it doesn't have to be the same. Most important thing is that we have proportionally placed the facial features, and now we can start to draw and shade. I just want to erase some unnecessary lines. These were some double lines as I was trying to find the right position. So draw only the lines that you find necessary. But try not to erase too much on a new piece of paper.